Dear friends, we have a unique panel to share with you at this conference. You will hear about things that you've never seen or experienced. Thank God. Дорогі наші лицарі і воїни, герої духа,
Dear knights of ours, the knights of spirit and patriotism, it is a great honor for us to be in your company. And being here at this meeting, we will speak about one of the most painful aspects of the Ukrainian reality now.
To sit with our friends who will share with us unspeakable experiences. Я дякую вам.
Thank you very much.
Valerii, Yuliu, Tetyanu, and Volodymyr.
Valerii, Yulian, Tetyana, and Volodymyr. I thank God for your being here. Thank you for the evidence that you already shared and the ones that you're going to share with us today.
We'll start with some introductions, and I will ask for us to begin with Yuli.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pylypei Yulian. I'm the professional soldiers of Ukrainian Marine Corps. My rank is captain. The last position is company leader. So I'm in Armed Forces of Ukraine for 12 years for now, since 2013. It was a long way, studying in academy, studying in United States, different combat operations since 2017. At the time of full-scale invasion, 2022, I was the company leader in the vicinity of Mariupol, and we were at a position. So then a couple months of defending the city of Mariupol, then trying, while me and my team trying to break through the surroundings, we were captured after 2 days of walking by the Russian special team from the FSB. And I spent 2.5 years in the Russian captivity and was convicted for 44 years for the crimes that, of course, I never committed. So now I already finished my recover and rehabilitation stuff. So I'm here.
Дякую. Валерію, будь ласка.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Valerii Horishnii. My call sign is Yarilo. I am a senior sergeant in the 12th Special Forces Brigade, Azov, of National Guard of Ukraine. I've been serving in the brigade since 2019. I've started my way in a reconnaissance team. I was a part of the reconnaissance team, and I've also participated in the Mariupol campaign in 2022. But unfortunately, at the end of the campaign, after 86 days of rough battles in total encirclement, unfortunately, we had an order from our commanders to surrender, and personally from our president, Volodymyr Zelensky. So I've also spent 2.5 years in the Russian captivity, but after I was released from the captivity, I've been a live witness of all the Russian crimes, Russian war crimes that they've committed in Mariupol, also in Russian captivity. Once I had a speech at the United Nations, also at the Parliament of the United Kingdom, and also Germany. Right now, I'm a instructor for foreigners, and when I have some free time, I participate in events like this. And thank you for having us, for the opportunity to be heard, and thank you.
Пані Тетяно, хрещена.
Tetyana, your call sign is Hristiana.
Шановне панство, мені дуже приємно бути.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here with you and to tell you something about what happened to us. I am an obstetrician by training. This is the most peaceful profession. For 42 years, I worked as a surgery nurse in maternity homes and perinatal centers. Then the Maidan revolution happened, and I thought that I have to be with the young. I have very rich life experience, and I thought I am supposed to help them because they don't want to be a slave just like myself, even though for most of my life I was actually in slavery. And when my eyes opened and when I felt freedom, I will never be enslaved again. So then there was Maidan, and after that I wanted to help warriors. In 2015, my godson offered a job for me in the Azov regiment. It was work in the rear of an assistant doctor. They needed someone who would be dealing with medical issues, and I worked on that position for 7 years. I worked with the soldiers, and I took care of some medical logistical issues. And I used to get a lot of phone calls where ibuprofen is, where the probiotics are, and I would tell them this is on the cupboard in the corner, the right top drawer, and so on. So I remembered everything, what was there. Such people are needed everywhere because this is about logistics. Then came a full-scale aggression, and I was at my medical center. For 7 years I lived there. I was a part and parcel of that military unit. And after some time, a commander called me and he said, "From now on, you will be a soldier." And I was enrolled as a soldier, as a mobilized, enlisted. And now I am a senior sergeant in rank. That's about the path of my life for you. Thank you for your attention.
Volodymyr Mykolaienko asked me to introduce him. He's a politician, a public figure in Kherson. He was a member of the city council, then served 2 terms as mayor from 2014 to 2020. It's the start of the full-scale invasion in 22. He joined the Territorial Defense Unit, and the occupying forces wanted to make him mayor. He categorically refused any collaboration. In April, was abducted. In captivity, he was tortured, subjected to hunger, psychological pressure. But despite this, in January 23, when he was offered to be exchanged as a prisoner, he gave his spot to a gravely ill cellmate. And so he stayed for another 3 more years as in prison. And it was a great gift to our people that on Independence Day, less than a month ago, he was released. His first words were, "Slava Ukraini." I'm sorry if I choke up once in a while, but I think these are stories that speak to our heart. Пане Володимир, може ви перше поділитеся тим найважливішим?
Maybe you will share your story with us, please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Я так не люблю публичность.
I'm not very much of a public speaker, I'm sorry, even though I am a kind of a politician. I thought about what I'm going to say here. There are such high-profile people here, and I am among them. I thought I would kind of sum up all the years of my captivity and tell my story. So what is the upshot of all that? What do I feel having served that term in captivity, in that environment of the empire of lies? And for myself, I have realized that the truth does exist, that the truth prevails. There are lies and there are true facts. And Russia is fighting against the truth, trying to destroy everything. People's lives, people's destinies, our livelihood, our families, entire cities, like what is the case with my native town, Kherson, the dams, like what happened to the Kakhovka Dam. That was a nightmare. They break all the rules of the international institutions. But there are things like the truth, and you can never overpower the truth. You can bomb people, you can drop glide bombs on their heads, but the truth will always prevail. And people cannot be broken with pain. It's painful for me to recall that the Russians are very skillful at using pain against you. It's even scary for me to tell you about this, because they can turn everything into pain. But there is no pain that can help you turn a lie into the truth.
They can beat you every day with rubber batons. They can electrocute you every day for years. But they would not break people like these men and women. They've chosen their way of evil, and it's difficult to turn back, and so they move on and on and on. And they continue to bomb our cities with glide bombs. They send more missiles against our civilians. They send civilians to tortures, but they cannot turn their monster country, their Russian Empire, into a civilized country. So that's exactly what our wonderful colleague here said. I've lived in slavery for half of my life, and I will never return there. So Russian torture chambers are unique. They treat you as if they are gods on the earth. And we, Ukrainians, fascists, are actually under people. We are not worth of their attention. We are not worthy at all. It's hard for me to try to summarize the years in captivity, because you need some distance, both in time and in geographical territory. So what I remember is that they mistreated everyone, that they despised everything, every bit of life. So it is our task then to stand up, to value, to treasure one another, to love one another. So that's my message to all of you. Let us never forget each and every Ukrainian who is still there in that cold, painful Russian camp. We should remember about them, and we should do our best to get them out of there. Thank you. Tetyana, can I ask you about the following? How can you stay alive and believe that you will survive? What inspired or kept you strong? What made you strong enough to remain a dignified human being? Did you see any solidarity on the part of the Russian female jailers? No, I didn't see any solidarity on the part of the Russian female jailers. There were a lot of them, but I would remember only one of them. When it was her shift, then we had some kind of a moral relaxation. On that day, we would know that we would not be beaten 3 times a day or made sing Russian national anthem or Russian songs, or would not be made make squats countless times, that we would not be listening to the Russian national anthem from morning till night. It was the only one of our gods who would treat us as human beings. And I remember overhearing a conversation that she had with our male god there. She said, they are human beings as well as us. So that was the only person in the entire jail who treated us as human beings, humanely, if you wish. Others were very inventive in how to cause pain, how to deprive us of basic necessities. In the morning she comes and we have to sing a new Russian song that we were supposed to learn overnight. Then we would be listening to Russian songs, starting with the Soviet ones about the so-called white god. Then they would be giving us patriotic Russian songs of the current Russian pop singers, or military Russian songs. And every time they would glorify Russia, they would be underscoring this greatness, grandeur of their country. And they had one song about a Ukrainian woman sniper who killed a 17-year-old Russian soldier. And we thought, what mother would send a 17-year-old boy to the front line to be killed by a Ukrainian sniper woman? So what kept me alive was my faith in my country. Now I realize that we used to live in a free, democratic Ukraine, and we believe that it will never let us down. I'm an experienced person, you know. I've lived for a long time and I've seen a lot. And I was sure that our country will get us out. And when my cellmates, younger women, were desperate or felt totally stressed or distressed, I supported them. And I told them, you joined the Azov battalion, or that time regiment. You knew that you would be serving at the front line. You knew that you might be captured. So let us keep strong. I'm sure that Ukraine is the best country on this earth. And when I was young, I served for 18 months in the 40th Army of the Soviet armed forces in Afghanistan. And that was when I realized how beautiful, how wonderful Ukraine is there amongst the, rocks and mountains and deserts. I missed Ukrainian orchards. I wanted to lie down in my orchard in Kyiv to breathe in the smells of my orchard, of my Ukrainian land. So always I've been a Ukrainian patriot. I've always loved and had faith in my country. This is actually heaven on earth, but our enemies are trying to turn it into a hellscape, and we have to do our best to make sure that our children and our grandchildren live in this heaven on earth.
That, Tetyana said that she tried to encourage the other women. I think if all of us looking into her beautiful blue eyes, we feel the warmth of God's grace. We can imagine what role she played for the other prisoners. Дякуємо за це свідчення і підтримку ваших.
Thank you very much for your supporting your colleagues and your sisters in arms. Valerii, you stayed for a year and 4 months in various jails, in various prisons and prison camps. Can you explain it to us how captivity affects a human being? How does it destroy or makes a human being stronger? How can you preserve your human dignity? I'll speak in English, sure. I still will speak in English for our international guests to understand what I mean.
I will use English to answer that question. Personally, for me, I think that the captivity has made me better and stronger. A dragon has never died of a snake bite. So I think those people who were strong, they've become even stronger. But the weak people, maybe they've broken somehow, I don't know. But most of the Azov soldiers, the Marine Corps soldiers and officers, most of them saved their face, their dignity, and this may sound crazy, but I think for most of us who come back from the captivity, we've become stronger. For us,
what was it that helped you the most when it was really difficult?
I would support and agree with Horishnii that it was faith and love, I would say. Faith in our commanders, that we will get back home. Faith in our relatives. Every single day the Russian guards, they tried to convince us that no one actually cared about us, that no one is waiting for you back home. But we knew that these were lies. So, and also love towards our land, our people. We knew that there was no way that we are forgotten, So, those were the most important things that helped us to carry on. And one more thing regarding the strength in captivity is that sports, it was strictly prohibited for us to do any kinds of sports because it was considered to be like preparation for jailbreak, for escape. But still, we found some ways to do something, at least some push-ups, some squats. You can also watch a movie on YouTube. It's called Babylon 93, if I'm not mistaken, with Mrs. Hryshena. And yeah, this is exactly what she said, that sports helped her to save the wits, you know? Because if you just stay in the cell according to the rules and stare at the wall, you may go crazy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Valerii. Yulian, what kept you going? And what was the most difficult period in your time of imprisonment?
Thank you for your question. So I think the most difficult periods during the 2.5 years was the June and August 2022 and the February of 2024, because the judge processing were in progress, and they just forced me, made me to sign the paper that I gave the orders to kill civilians in the city of Mariupol. And those kind of I don't know if it's really right in English, the kind of interviews with the interrogators, so you're coming in the office into the cabinet, and you sit in there every day for 2-3 hours every day, sometimes 2 times per day, and they doing different things during this time, and you going back to your cell and you realize that it will go on tomorrow, after tomorrow, and in 1 week, in 2 weeks, while you haven't signed it. And I said that I will not sign this. So then the officer from the internal service of this prison was in Kursk, and he said okay, did you assume that somewhere in the Mariupol could be the civilians? And I said the city of Mariupol, that's 500,000 city. Of course you are assuming that a lot of civilians are there. That's why we are there, right? That's why every country has armed forces to protect civilian rights. That's pretty clear. So and then I answered did you assume when you hit the drama theater, when you hit the hospital from
maternity ward,
maternity hospital, yeah, and did you assume that there could be the women's, the pregnant women, right, or with a small child, with a really little babies, or did you assume that in the drama theater could be couple hundred civilians? You know, after I said this, I was wake up in the cell because they just I just lost the conscience, you know, because of that, because of the beatings, you know, all this stuff. So that's just the country of lie. That's a very true. So and your first question was, can you repeat it, please?
Well, one question: what kept you going? What gave you strength in those most difficult moments?
Okay, it's clear. So it's depend on person. So I'm very agree that it's depend on person, and if you, it's depend on your internal spirit, right? So different, you have a lot of different sources. My main source was my wife, my family, my country, my unit, and my personal values. It's keep you on. And I always told the guys who I was with in the prisons that, hey guys, let's imagine that this small cell, like 2 by 3 meter, that's our battlefield, okay? We showed us as a warrior in the city of Mariupol, so we don't have a weapon right here. I mean, like the physical weapon, the like rifles and all this stuff, but like we have the spirit, right? We can like doing sports, we can like keep pushing every day. We can do this like morning exercise. Even if you can like do 1 time like push-ups, just or 2 sit-ups, do it, okay? Like, and it's keep you like in a shape. First, it's not about the physical shape; it's about the mental shape, right? So everything of that, it's about your mental, about your spirit, because only like that you can sustain. And you have to fight with yourself, with the pain, with the different kinds of torture, beating, and blah, 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 only by your spirit, okay? You are not control your life at all. And
you can offer no resistance. You cannot free yourself. You
cannot even have like, you know, some simple hygiene things. I mean, it's
constant efforts at degradation.
Yeah. So like, and for example, like Hristiana said about the music, and that's very true. So they like put the music on for 16 hours per day. All of the songs about like nuclear dust, you know, like about the Russia, about the victory, победа, and blah, 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 деды воевали, and blah, blah, blah. So, and this music is so loud that you are not able to hear your internal minds, you know? And that's also the type of torture. And all of this like torture and beatings and all of this like pain, that's a system. So, I mean like, so the system is keep you like every single second in fear, starving and pain. You know, that's a system. That's what you have to feel. And like all of this in completely informational vacuum. That's how does it work.
Thank you so much. You know, when I look at our friends who are sharing these stories, we cannot see maybe what is deeper inside, but I think you look great. You
look great, your eyes are bright, victorious, and your words are deep-going and truthful. Volodymyr. Well, Tetyana inspired me with her reminiscences. I, like other colleagues, had never thought that I would once day end up at the very heart of Russia in its prison, in one of its prisons. That's the hellish melting pot supposed to make you a Russian. They were forcing this Russian into us, and I can just imagine what other captives are suffering now. They make them hear that music about 78 from early morning to late at night, 78 repetitions of that same tune or playlist. They wanted to turn us to zombies using their propaganda or sermons delivered by the Russian clergy that Russia is blissful. Well, yes, there are Ukrainians who can be broken, who can be beaten, but you will never turn a Ukrainian Russian. That's 100%. Thank you. And just one last word from me. Mutual support, caring of each other indeed help you feel inspired, even in prison and captivity. So when you start to devise ways for surviving in captivity, support is what keeps you alive. It's a miracle, but it's a daily miracle you can see in Ukrainians get there. So please support each other, love each other, have respect for each other. Thank you, Volodymyr. Prophetic words indeed. Well, Christians need to be in communion with each other, and it is so important to hear what you became aware in those difficult circumstances. Yes, that's right. Captivity, it's a trial we were exposed to, but within civil life there are many challenges we face. Tetyana, what do you think each Ukrainian, every person of goodwill should know, should learn from your experience? You mentioned how beautiful Ukraine is. So how do you think we can show the utmost of our solidarity with our captives held there? Every Sunday, you may know, special rallies are held to support MAIs and POWs, and for some reason I believe they can feel that when we come out to the streets with all those posters, when we chant in the squares, they can hear us. When I was released, I saw why I never had a doubt that I'd one day see my relatives, my friends again. But it was when I saw people who I knew or didn't know were standing in the squares, chanting, demanding our release, and we do that now ourselves. So long as there are people held in captivity, we need to be out supporting them and speaking our voice so that people who are in charge of the release process can hear us and never stop. We can be called real Ukrainians when all Ukrainians return to our homeland, all Ukrainians who were exposed to all those tribulations. You will never have better Ukrainians. Valerii, chronologically, this experience will not likely leave you any time in the future, but you should have some plans for the future, personal plans, whatever.
Thank you for your question, first of all. You know, like I said before, this experience has made me better and stronger, I believe, and now I need to use it to help our army keep going, because the situation is very difficult on the front line, and that's why we have to do everything possible to to keep the positions. This is basically what I do right now. I instruct people how to protect our land and how to get it back. But I also want to emphasize the attention of our partners to help us to do something to get our guys and girls back from the Russian captivity. All the above said, about the horrible conditions there, about the hunger, about the cold, regular beatings and tortures, the most ridiculous thing is that no one actually can do anything about this. And this is very bad. I don't know, like everyone tries to do something, but at the end, unfortunately, our people are still in captivity, being tortured every single day. And that's why I agree with Horishnii that we need to at least visit the meetings every Sunday to again emphasize the attention on the fact that more than 800 Azov servicemen and also Marines and other thousands of people are still in captivity, and there are children missing somewhere in Russia too. And that is why I would like to thank you all for this opportunity to be heard, and thank you again.
Yulian, you mentioned that your wife kept you going. How was this for her, and what are your future plans in your family, in your service? How are you looking into the future now?
You mean like my personal plans?
Yeah, your personal plans and your plans. You are still a member of the armed services.
Okay, so like my plans is like keep studying, keep training.
Yulian is learning Arabic now.
Yeah,
you told me.
By the way. But like the plan is to be as much useful as I can, like no matter where, in the military or in the civilian, it doesn't matter. And like I didn't understand the question about my wife. What is
how did she live this, and how, this is it's torture for the family members when they don't know where you are.
She's a Ukrainian woman, She was fighting. Yeah, that's very true. So she was fighting as any other Ukrainian woman for his husband for 2.5 years, and I really thankful for her. And like the plans for future, some children's, maybe somewhere.
God bless you. Dear brothers and sisters, let's take all of this home. Let's think about it. How fortunate we are. How comfortable we are. How well fed we are. How warm when it's cold, and how air conditioned when it's hot. How maybe even pampered we are. We have before us four persons that were in hell. And the Lord took them out of there with a powerful hand, and you can see that they're alive, and they're witnessing to us. Я хочу вам подякувати. Я думаю, що для всіх нас це і
I'd like to thank you. Thank you so much for this unforgettable meeting.
Я бажаю багатьом, щоб вони з вами
I wish more people
почули ваше слово.
to meet you, to hear your words.
Бізнес і
All the politicians, all the business persons, the whole of our nation has to hear your call for unity. Everyone has to see your light in meeting eyes.
Or you said you spoke in Germany, but I hope, Valerii, that people hear you. I hope your Arabic is so good that the Arabic world comes to know the truth about this struggle. God bless you all, and We thank you so much.